Ladies and gentlemen, Crystal's Dota is about to present you yet another beautiful story. This time, it is very focused, and if you want to have a clear-eyed view, try to put yourself into my story, put your imagination directly into it, and then you will be able to picture it. By the way, this story encompasses a civil war battle. It's a battle of two Brazilian teams. This is very big because many of the Brazilian teams encompass other players from around the world. Basically, it's an internal battle that gets glorified, it gets broadened. So I hope you guys can enjoy this civil war where brothers are fighting each other. Particularly, there's a player named 4DR. He is the spotlight, he is the focus of the story because he is the key player that everything revolves around. Anyways, basically 4DR used to be a member in Pain Gaming. This was last year, and 4DR was renounced from the team. He was kicked off. So 4DR, aka Adriano, was labeled as the plague, as the cancer of the team of Pain Gaming, and they kicked him off. Similar to that, Lil or LIL from Virtus Pro was labeled the same way, and perhaps that label was true because right after kicking Lil or LIL from the team, Virtus Pro would go on to win multiple tournaments, having Roger into their lineup. So Pain Gaming was trying to show the similar story. Perhaps one member is a key factor for the outcome of the entire team. And maybe we could relate that to every other Dota team. Does replacing one member change a team that much? And based on these stories, based on the outcomes of the teams, especially in tournaments, that remains to be true. VP performed exceptionally well, and likewise, Pain Gaming go on to show that, hey, you know, Adriano, aka 4DR, was their weak link. But the point of this story is that 4DR is trying to impose his will against this team. He's showing that, hey man, you cannot count me out. I'm not just a cancer. Maybe it's you guys that's the cancer. He's trying to negate what's, you know, the outcome. He's trying to show that, hey, it's not my fault we were losing, it's your fault. So that is the battle. It's similar to the cousins fighting each other. It's a battle from within. That is the whole point of the story. I'm trying to explain that to you, and I hope this makes a little more sense. So 4DR has to gather new team in order to get revenge on Pain Gaming for throwing him off and kicking him like he was pure, utter rubbish trash. 4DR decided to get members from Midas Him and two North American prodigies, Stan King and Philippe. And this is the team that he made up, SG Esports. So basically, SG has a lot of Brazilians and North Americans. And Pain Gaming mostly has a Brazilian team with Weehao. Now imagine this. Imagine you're the mid player and you get kicked off the team, and then suddenly, at the end of the day, it was all your fault. You are the mid player and your team was losing just because of you. Maybe that is what's going on with Team Na'Vi, Nate is sincere. You see, Dendy might have lost his skills. He might not have been good as he was in the past. It's just like basketball. Like Kobe Bryant, later on in his career, was not as good as he was in his early years. Similar to Paul Pierce or Ray Allen. Ray Allen eventually becomes a sniper. He becomes a three-point shooter. Before, he used to be the primary ball handler. And later on, he changed his role. He metamorphed his way of playing to, you know, still be good. This is what Dandy lacks. He cannot metamorph his playstyle and play in a successful way. He continuously comes off short and causes Team Na'Vi to lose. Anyways, going back to the story, Pain Gaming felt the same. They felt that 4DR was the problem of the team, and therefore they got Weehao. So let me make that analogy a little bit more clear. You see, Lil from Virtus Pro was also seen as a cancer. After discarding him, similar to what Pain Gaming did for 4DR, they, in fact, showed something spectacular. After kicking their cancer, they were able to perform exceptionally well. Now, many people may find that a little bit outrageous or preposterous that I called Lil from VP a cancer, but look at it. Look at the facts. After he left the team, they are doing exponentially better. They were clearly the #1 team in the entire year of 2018, ahead of Team Liquid. Yes, they lost to some tournaments, but most of the tournaments was won by Virtus Pro. Anyways, that's one thing that made the team so good. So Pain Gaming right now are trying to prove that to 4DR's face, and 4DR is trying to fight back. He's saying, hey, I don't want to be that cancer. I don't want to be looked by the international world that I am a cancer. He didn't want to be labeled as Lil. Now Lil is suffering in Team Navi with the rubbish players, and for DR, he's trying not to be there. So this series, the best of 5 series at the Open Qualifiers, is very important because, you know, 4DR is fighting for his life, not just his, you know, bragging rights, not to, you know, bring revenge, but it's something more deeper. This is why even the series goes to a Game 5. Why didn't all the other regions have this much, you know, motivation for Dota? Why didn't they play as hard as both of these teams do or did? This is clearly because there's more to this game. The best of 5 series against Pain Gaming versus SG Esports at the South American Regional Qualifiers for TI8, it is a big thing. This is very big because many of the players are fighting from within. It's like a civil war, brothers fighting sisters, sisters fighting aunts. It's similar to that type of analogy. Many international players and many international fans don't know about these things. That's why I'm trying to give it to you, you know? By the way, if you like what you're hearing so far, hit that subscribe button. I guarantee you I'm gonna work my butt off and give you quality content regarding Dota. Anyways, back to the story. So this is the story of 4DR, and I might get a little distracted, but I like to give you some other interesting ideas as well. So how does 4DR, aka Adriano, get his revenge? He gets Midas and members, and he gets North American players. And now it's a best of 5 series. The cute part, or the beautiful thing, the cool part about this is that Adriano comes really close. His revenge does manifest. 4DR nevertheless tries to make this revenge, this ploy, a reality. It's like, you know, being the devil and defeating Jesus or something, you know? And it is a very cryptic fight indeed, if you think about it. You see, this is like the civil war that took place years ago in America, where the Northerners and Southerners were split apart, where brothers were fighting brothers, where sisters were fighting sisters. It was crazy. Likewise, this is what's happening in the South American Grand Finals for the TI8 Open Qualifiers. The winner of this series would go on to play for TI8, the biggest tournament, which is coming up next month, which, by the way, Crystal's Dota will, in fact, very, very enthusiastically, will talk about. Yes, the TI8, the International 2018 Games. So if you want to hear stories, more crazy, in-depth, internal stories, make sure you hit that subscribe button and get into the Crystalist world. Anyways, with that being said, this is the end of the story. Basically, this is what happens. 4DR eventually becomes, you know, the cancer of the South American Dota scene. In fact, Pain Gaming do come on top and eventually win the series, win the game. And because of that, Pain Gaming are going to the International 2018 and SG Gaming is not. Also, SG Gaming and Midas Him club members are also looked as the weakest players in South America. Also, Weehao is looked as a hero. So ladies and gentlemen, the point of this story is to give you 2 perspectives. One is the point of view of 4DR, aka Adriano, and how he tries to make his revenge plot into existence by attempting a outrageous move. And the other side of the story is to present you Pain Gaming's perspective and why they think kicking him was a proper decision, why it was a good thing. You know, many people feel that kicking him was outrageous and they should not have done it. But it's different when you're in their shoes as the owners. You think differently. You think about the grand scheme of things. And this is why we actually saw the results that we saw. At the end of the day, it is up to you as a person, as a human being, to find your own perspective and create your own, you know, opinions based on what these players and owners decided to do. Although we get to see that 4DR being kicked off of Pain Gaming was the right decision in this case, in this particular case, and is also backed up by the example I provided, which, you know, VP exemplified. That doesn't also take away from the fact that, hey man, 4DR might have a future in Dota. He can still somehow come up out of nowhere. Maybe next year and down the road he makes another team and his revenge does come true. That's the thing about Dota. I hope you guys were able to understand these perspectives and why I presented it. Until next time, this is Crystal's Dota out. Stay tuned for the next story on Weehao and how he has changed South American Dota and how he has changed his own entire playstyle in totality, you know, and why we think that.
मुझ पे सुरूर है असर तेरा ये जरूर है तेरी नजर का कसूर है पास तू क्यों दूर है ये इश्क का जो फितूर है नशे में दिल तेरे चूर है